Welcome to Cultivating Courage, a podcast exploring fear, courage, and stepping into a life filled with purpose, connection, and love. In today's episode, Kat's back. If you missed last week's episode, I'd recommend hitting pause and heading back there first. If you're all caught up, welcome back. We're digging deeper into Kat becoming the director of her own life and stepping towards positive self-talk, because we're all magic, y'all. Welcome back to Cultivating Courage. We are returning from the last episode where we chatted with Kat about improv. Mm-hmm. We chatted about being positive in the morning, how to be with yourself, and ended with Kat's request for some skills or some tips and to try and figure out how to steer her life.
All right. So can we dive back in?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So tell me a little bit more about it. What would steering your life look like? What does that look like for you?
Oh, yikes. I don't know. It just came out like based on what we were talking about. You said I don't make, it seems like I wanted you guys to make the decisions, and that seems like a theme. So flipping that would be to not be looking to other people to make my own decisions, mm-hmm. right? But it's just something like I've always been so go with the flow, and like I really often like I'm like, oh, I would want to talk about that, or I am interested in this, or oh yeah, this sounds like. I wish I wasn't so passive sometimes, so that I could make decisions or could move forward and didn't feel so stuck, right?
Gotcha. So steering your life is something like just being less passive about what you choose? Being
less passive, yeah. Or like having strong opinions about what needs to happen next, you know? Mm-hmm. I don't have a strong feeling. Like I don't have a gut instinct on like, oh, this thing needs to happen next. So I have this ambition for this thing because I have these 4 things that I'm interested in, and I'm doing all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, you know, if that makes sense.
And what do you want it to be like?
I don't know. Ain't that the problem?
Well, I just to fill you in. You're speaking a language. It's not a problem.
Okay.
From my perspective, there's just what you want.
Yeah.
And so if you're okay with your life as it is, then it's totally okay. I don't hold any of it as a problem.
Right.
It's just there's certain ways we're doing life. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes we get present to like, oh, I'd actually like my life to be a different way. Mm-hmm. And so then we might change our automatics to create life the way we want it. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. And so I want you to know, I don't think there's anything about you that you need to fix.
Thanks, Matt.
I mean that really. It's just, what do you want in your life? And then how would you be to create that?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so that's what we're looking at. It sounds like something you want is to be steering your life more.
I think I do tend to look to others for decisions. And I don't know if it's a lack of... It's so funny because I literally am a director. And in the context of like directing a show or coaching an improvised piece, I am happy to lead. Like, and I'm like, nope, this needs to happen, or this is 100% confident in the room, 100% know what, like, I feel very confident. Mm-hmm. In terms of my life, like, I'm attracted to these people, like friends, partners, my parents, older relatives, like cousins, like I always look up to people to what are they doing, and I'll emulate that for what like I need to do next for my own life for Kat, and mirror that. And I don't understand why in my own life I don't make the same like leaps or like strong decisions that I make when I'm directing other people. Like it's which is kind of odd. Yeah. Like I wish I had the confidence to like direct myself the way I direct a room full of like improvisers or like a sketch show or something, you know?
Yeah.
I don't really understand why I don't.
So what you have this like way of being when you're directing, where there's like, it sounds like there's certainty and kind of authority and vision, and this is what I want, and what I know I want, and this is how I want it to be in a show.
Yeah, and I genuinely, like, someone told me recently, they're like, people look at you like a leader. And it's so funny because I think of myself like a little pawn. And
in your life.
Yeah, in general. And I'm like, me, a leader? You know? And that was interesting to me.
So, what would your life look like if you were being that powerful director in your life?
I don't know. I feel like I think I do think I let people get away with a lot of things, and maybe I would be a little bit more like, no.
Are we talking about a particular area of your life?
What do you mean, Matt?
I don't know. What do I mean? By the way, guys, I don't know Kat, so I'm not actually asking like I know. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I have known nothing about this guy.
Which means she doesn't know about your
This guy.
insane volleyball skills.
Yeah, she doesn't. Oh man, you got to listen to some of the prior episodes.
Oh yeah, no, I have to.
Okay, we're getting derailed.
No, yeah, sure. Romantically, I let people get away with things, probably for too long. Maybe friendship wise, a little bit. My friends are awesome though, for the most part. Maybe like there are times when I feel like a parent will say a comment and I let it slip by and it was probably completely inappropriate, but they are so awesome in general that it's like I'm like 99% of the time they're amazing. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like I don't know how to explain it.
So in your romantic relationships, it sounds like less with your friends.
I think my friends have shown them who they are. They've shown up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's see if I can recap and tell me if we're on course. So what we've got so far is I want to be the one steering my life. Yeah, I want to walk away with ways of being able to do that, or what is it?
I want to feel empowered to do that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. And the places where it's showing up, this not doing that sounds like romantic relationships.
Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm really asking.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yes. Just it's everything. Yeah. It's literally everything. Career 100%.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's so weird pursuing something where you feel great, like you're on track, but that's not your day job. And then at your day job, you're like the lowest man on the totem pole. So at night, you're like, feel like you're maybe, when I was in the directing program, I'm like, oh, I'm crushing it. It's going great. And then you go to work the next morning and you're like, oh, cleaning a break room. You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
I don't know. So, you want to feel empowered to steer your life more? Mm-hmm. Is there a particular area of your life that you want to like look at where being the steerer, the director of your life would make a powerful difference for you?
I don't feel like I can make a career change right now. I don't. I'm not. Romantically, there's not. I don't know how to. I don't know what I would chit chat about right now.
Well, what we're looking for, it looks, there's a possibility that you're looking at all of this from the disempowered place.
Yes.
Of like not being the director. And so from that place, of course, it'll look like there's nothing you can change. She's hiding.
Yeah. All right. Let's. Okay. Here's how I've been feeling lately, and then you tell me how I can feel different.
Well, okay. Let's start with the first part.
Help.
Okay. What is it?
How about I'll give you a thing, and then maybe you could help me with a reframe.
Okay.
This time a year ago, I was getting engaged and feeling like I was ready to start a family and ready to start a theater with a partner and potentially even move with them to somewhere else. And we were gonna start a life together, and I felt like on track to start this whole future of like, oh, I'm moving almost into my next phase of my life.
Yeah.
And like adulthood. And now that's not the case, but I'm still at this point of like, I want to move into I'm turning 30. I want to have a family. I want to move into adulthood. I want to grow up. And I'm like literally this week, like reflecting on that's where I was last year. And it's not happening. And yet, and it's for the right reasons. And I miss the person, but we're okay. And no hard feelings. Like, how do I grow up and move forward? But like, it's not about like, oh, I need a partner. It's not about, I have an adult job. It's just, I can't have a kid by myself right now. It's just all these things that I thought I was going to do a year ago are not happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know.
Do you want them to happen?
Yes, but I want them to happen just with me.
Yeah, without having to have a partner pull you along towards it.
Yeah, and I want to create the theater, and I want to. Yeah.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. A theater.
I want a
what
theater.
Else?
I want a child.
Child.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not yet, but eventually, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the big ones.
Gotcha. 3 years from now, let's say.
5, probably.
5.
Yeah.
5 years from now.
Yeah.
You got a theater that you're running?
Yeah. And then 10 years from now, maybe I want a kid.
Okay.
Because I get a little time.
Yeah.
You get whatever you want.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that it's what you want.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the power to create it when you want it.
Yeah.
And
right?
define it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so those things are theater,
a
child,
5 to
and
10 years.
do you want the
kid.
child with somebody?
If they want, like, I know that I want a kid.
Yeah. Do you want it with somebody?
It'd be nice to have somebody in my life.
Cool.
But I don't need the person to have the
Totally.
kid.
I'm just trying to get clear on all the things you want.
Yeah. I would like to have a partner. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll keep those independent.
Yeah.
A theater, a child,
Yeah.
which could be with or without a partner, and a partner.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else?
Those are some biggies.
Yeah, those are some biggies. You're doing great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wondering if there's other things where you're like, if your life was really yours, this is what I would have.
I would like to be playing music.
Playing music.
Just like goofing around with it. I don't need a music career.
Mm-hmm. But playing music? Cool. What else?
I would like to be like around my family occasionally. I'd like to be able to travel.
Time with family, travel. Mm-hmm. Cool. Does the theater replace the 9 to 5?
Yes.
Okay.
I would like I want my job to be running my theater. Have you, I understand that is not easy. I understand that's
hey, wait.
not.
You're talking to people of possibility here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We don't have any doubts that you could do that at all.
I'm not saying it's easy work. I've bartended. I want to be at the, I want to be the face of it.
Yeah.
I want to be the manager of it.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I totally hold that as possible.
Yeah, me too.
You're brilliant. And what I want to say is I totally present to the director who has her own sense of direction and style and knows what will work and the possibility of you bringing that to your life. And what I'm present to is that it starts with just knowing what show you're making. Right? You're not going to direct a show that you have no idea what it's going to be. Let's all just get together and rehearse and see what happens. Well, I guess that kind of happens at Second City sometimes.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Improv,
Yeah,
right?
it's a collaboration.
But ultimately, you start with a vision of the kind of show you want to have, right?
Yeah.
Some vague idea of it. I want to make people laugh. It's got to be 20 minutes long, whatever it is. Okay. So, theater, running a theater, child, partner. What are the other things?
Family
Family.
and travel.
Oh, yeah. Time with family, travel. Oh, and playing music.
And playing music, yeah.
Anything else?
Be fun to run around once in a while.
What do you mean?
Yeah, what is
Like
run
go for a
around
run
mean?
or like?
I don't just play ball, like basketball.
Yeah.
Ball.
Be like physical activity. Fun physical activity.
Yeah.
Team sports?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Beach volleyball.
I know some volleyball players. Actually,
Play pool. I want a pool table at my theater. I know that.
okay, cool.
Oh,
With the pool table.
that's awesome.
Nice. Okay, cool. So
I mean, are we just talking about everything?
Yes,
actually, like,
everything.
creating
Shit
your
on our
dream.
dreams?
Yeah.
Well,
Are we allowed to
the
swear
thing
on
is
this?
that
Yeah.
I think so. I don't think we've dropped any F-bombs yet.
I think I have.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I picked this one.
Mm-hmm.
Dream. Well, what'll happen that will have us leading a rudderless life is that we haven't decided what we want. And then we're just going to go wherever other people say and wherever life just kind of happens to take us. And that's fine if that's what we want. And it sounds to me like you actually do know what you want.
Mm-hmm.
What do you hear in that for you?
Yeah.
What's in the way of that?
I mean, is it realistic?
Mm-hmm.
I love Chicago. Is it realistic to have a theater competing with these other theaters in Chicago? Is it realistic to do somewhere else? Would I have the resources? Also just like, I don't know, would it work? How can I run a business?
Mm-hmm. So one thing that's in the way is a lot of questions about the viability of your dream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the club of dreamers.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally natural to not be sure exactly how it would be created or how it would go. Cool. What else is in the way?
I mean, I get distracted on a daily, on a day-to-day basis.
Distraction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saving, or
So it sounds like maybe what that is like there's the vision, but your day-to-day life may not be aligning with that vision.
Mm-hmm.
There's lack of alignment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What else is in the way?
I don't know.
Any ideas? Is there something in your mind that you're not saying, or are you just like blank?
I don't know. It feels like a dream, and then I don't know if I believe that I can like do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like lack of possibility. It doesn't feel possible. Or is it that it doesn't feel possible for you to do it?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So there's self-doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is that? What does the self-doubt say?
Like, you know, like you're a fuck up kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? You're a fuck up. I got that voice big time. I totally hear you.
Yeah. It's just more shit like that.
And what else?
I don't want to say.
Cool. You don't have to say. You don't have to say. And I'm curious about what has you not want to say it.
I don't know.
You're scared.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't want to pull any direct quotes and have anybody watch it. I feel like, you know. Yeah, I feel like I'm a fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just blame people that.
Yeah, I hear you. And it's kind of scary to say, isn't it? Well, here, can I share a perspective on that?
Okay.
Okay, cool. What are you so nervous about? we might actually disprove the fuck up theory.
Yeah.
And then what would you do with your life? You'd have to own your greatness and own your power and actually create what you want.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Okay, so here's my perspective, one perspective on it.
Mm-hmm.
Things happened when we were young and when we were old or in between. And there were things where life didn't go the way we wanted, you know, and that might be like, I was in my room crying and nobody came to get me out of my crib. Right? We could go way back if we wanted. And at some point, I decided to believe a story that there must be something wrong with me or people would have picked me up from my crib. And that voice says something like, I'm a fuck up. There must be something wrong with me. Right? And so basically all of us got that idea at some point. We were told it, or something happened that made us believe it couldn't be them. There must be something wrong with me. And most of us walk around believing that.
Yeah. And not just believing it, but I think sometimes looking for ways to prove that it's true.
Yeah.
So instead of recognizing, you know, the brilliance and recognizing the things that are really amazing, we hone in on all of the things that we do wrong or we're bad at, because it reinforces then this message that we've got running through our head, the story that we're telling ourselves that I'm not good at this.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be good at this. I'm bad.
Whatever the voice is
whatever
for us.
that
I'm
voice
a
is
fuck up.
telling you. Yeah.
So, like Kristen was saying, we start to collect evidence. And because those are the lenses we're wearing, we only see things that prove we're that way. Right? So you said all these people relate to you as like a total leader, but you've been wearing glasses that say you're not. And so you can't see the leader and the brilliance and the power because you've been wearing other glasses that say I'm a fuck up. And it's totally human.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's nothing wrong with you for believing that. And we've all got thoughts about how awful and bad and we are. And we've all got them in our own flavor from our own upbringing and our own conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not us thinking that. There are just thoughts that occur that are self-hating thoughts that are just tracks playing in our brain. So from my perspective, I don't have any judgment on someone who has thoughts of, I'm a fuck up. It's totally natural you'd have thoughts like that, you know? And that's the reason I was curious about what the other thoughts are, the self-hating stuff, is because if we can actually get it out from, like, it's going on in the background for a lot of us a lot of the time. And if we can get it out in the foreground, then we can actually look at it and choose what to believe. You want to try it out?
I mean, they're all along the same lines.
Is there any others like that are recurring? It's totally up to you to share what you want to share. You don't have to share anything. I'm just wondering.
It's just, you're trash.
Trash. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trash. Fuck up. What else? You got another one that circles around a bunch?
Yeah, but I'm not going to say them all.
Okay, cool. So let's look at those two, can we? Okay. So I am trash. Mm-hmm. So what's helpful for me is first to get just present to the voice that's there. Mm-hmm. And then to just simply ask, is that interpretation or is it a fact?
Mm-hmm.
How do you see it?
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, am I a piece of rubbish? No. In a can? No.
Mm-hmm. Is it interpretation or a fact? We're not asking is it true or false. We're stepping out of that world. Because if we're asking if it's true or false, the evidence that we've been collecting for our whole entire life will start going, oh yeah, it is the truth. Because look, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And you did this and you hit Sally with the shovel and whatever. Right?
I did hit Sally with a shovel.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Several times. I beat her with that shovel. I beat her ass.
See? And then ever since then, you've been like, I must be trash.
Yeah.
Because only trash hits people with shovels.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, is that we're not asking if it's true or false. We're just asking, is it an interpretation or is it a fact that you are trash?
I suppose it's an interpretation.
It sounds like there's a lot of resistance to seeing it that way. Do you want to be right about it?
What?
That you're trash?
Well, no. I mean, I'm not trying to be hard. I promise I'm not.
Yeah.
I promise.
No, it's really your choice. And I said that a little like I was pushing you a little bit, but I'm actually wondering. You get to choose if you want to believe it or not.
I don't get, that's the thing. I don't get to choose. I just do believe it.
You do right now. You have believed it. And I'm saying you have a choice. You really do. Mm-hmm. And a step towards getting there is just to see it's not a fact. It's an interpretation of things that have happened in my life. And the interpretation I've been believing from those things that's happened is that I'm worthless. But it's just an interpretation. Mm-hmm. So we're not saying it's false. We're just saying it's interpreting what's happened. It's not a fact. You know, a fact is what? What is a fact?
I'm holding a microphone right now.
You're holding a microphone. An interpretation is?
I'm the most amazing podcast host ever.
Yeah, totally.
That's a fact.
It seems factual, doesn't it? It seems factual, but it may be an interpretation. Okay, so like a fact is a bowl of cherries. I am trash compared to what? Compared to stuff in a garbage can? Compared to a rock? Who decides what's trash? I don't know. It's just made up. Like the guys the dumpster divers.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, this isn't trash.
Yeah, it's treasure.
Yeah, it's treasure. Okay. So we're not saying it's wrong. We're just saying it's an interpretation. Cool?
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like there's resistance. And what I don't want...
No, that's
Are you
just
with us?
Yes, I'm with.
Okay, cool.
I'm with.
Okay,
that's
cool.
My way
so then if we can get to it's an
processing.
interpretation,
Uh-huh.
then we can just look at, is that interpretation empowering me?
I see.
Is it?
Like, is the interpretation
That I am trash?
empowering me?
Does that empower me?
Does it empower me? No. I mean, it empowers me to, it empowers me to do stupid shit.
Maybe.
Sorry, I swear a lot on this podcast
okay.
today. But it doesn't empower me to move forward towards
The theater,
things we're
your
talking
child,
about.
your partner.
Yeah.
Cool. So then I might just ask, what do I choose to believe?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, maybe there's something else we could ask. What else might be so?
That I am not trash.
And what might you be? Because we don't want to stay in the whole world of you being trash.
Or
not trash.
This is so much of the conversation.
Trash, not trash. By the way, I just burped.
It happens.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
By the way, like, this conversation could be had with anybody.
Yes.
We've all got stuff that we believe we are that's not empowering us. We all got it.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for being the one to be an example of it. And listeners, I hope you're hearing this for you and looking at what the voice is telling you about yourself. Because we've all got this going on. And ultimately, it's going to get in all of our ways of creating what we want. Because we've got disempowering interpretation. It's not bad. It often causes us to suffer.
Yeah.
So if the life we want is not suffering, we eventually have to choose to believe something else. And it also can just get in our way. Continuing to operate in that story is just probably going to be disempowering you. Because trash can't run a theater. Trash can't raise a child. Mm-hmm. Trash can't create the life she wants. Trash just has to go along with whatever everybody else says. As long as that's what you're operating in. You know, and there's nothing wrong with you for being there. We all get there.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with you for believing it sometimes. But you do have a choice. So you might look at what else might be so about you.
Well, I think I'm creative.
I'm creative.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
I think that was a biggie.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I do think I can be funny.
Mm-hmm. I'm funny.
I'm out.
You open to hearing some?
Mm-hmm.
What else is she?
I think that you are a leader and a director. I think you are a cheerleader for others. I think you are honest and kind, and you show up for people. I'm sure there's more.
I think you're light and magic and goddess and power and the future of comedy in Chicago.
Thanks, guys.
Sure. Here's the thing. Those are all interpretations too. Mm-hmm. Right? Do they empower you?
Mm-hmm.
And then we just simply look at, what do I choose to believe?
Mm-hmm.
What will you choose?
I liked magic.
Cool.
Yeah.
How about trying that on this week?
Magic.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I like kind.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And here's what I think can be powerful is not I want to be kind.
Mm-hmm.
I am kindness.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at it as what you are,
Mm-hmm.
not just how you'd like to be or like an attribute. Mm-hmm. I am magic. I know it sounds crazy, and it's just an interpretation. But if you started believing it, you'd find evidence.
Yeah.
You're magic. And you'd start seeing it in the miraculous things that happen around you in your life. Still an interpretation, but it's a fun one to live in.
Yeah. Way more fun than the bad stuff.
It seems like.
Yeah. And I find in my life it's way more fun to live in those than to live in the bad stuff.
Kristen, what are you getting from all of this for you?
I think for me, that it is a choice. We were talking earlier about how one of the thoughts that I have often is that I'm an idiot, and when that comes up, instead of replaying all the evidence that I have that I'm an idiot, I can choose to see myself as knowledgeable and confident and fun and all the other things that I also know to be true, and to put that back where it belongs, which is way, way, way back, and to bring forward the things that empower me. Yeah.
What are you getting from this?
It's wild. I don't know. This is more than I was expecting to share or discover.
Yeah. How does it feel?
Pretty good.
Does it? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. I need a minute to process.
Yeah. Sure.
Of course.
I'm wondering, so the request, I think, was I want the power to steer my own life. And so from what we've talked about, what do you see that will allow you to be the director of your life?
I think I so easily go to that negative language about myself which I think makes it so easy to default to others because I feel so like low status. So if I could remove that feeling of like, oh, I'm trash. Trash can't be nothing but trash. And just say like, oh, you have a place here. You're magic. So if you're creating the magic, maybe there is more control in that. Maybe we'll see what happens in that.
So what we're looking at is like a new way of holding yourself. And what's predictable based on how you've held yourself in the past?
What's predictable?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, it sounds like the trash or whatever that negative kind of chatter is that you've been believing sometimes. It sounds like that's pretty deeply ingrained. So, like, what's predictable this week and a year from now?
What's realistic is that it may come up, but what might be possible would be to be like, hey, remember that session? And, oh, kindness, like, or, oh, leader, or, oh, magic, like, try and self-talk out of it.
Gotcha. Cool. Awesome. Yeah.
Like, realistically.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And that's what we're actually inviting, because what happens is we'll have this cool new awareness in life, something that gives us power and insight, right? And our old ways of being are so deeply ingrained that they can become really easy to just go back to.
Well, especially when it's your everyday life, so it's something at work triggers some, like there's some person at work that says something to you, and because it's that person that says it to you, you instantly go to that place. There's certain certain things that are predictable.
Like default automatics that we've been doing a long time. And so what we want to look at is if you actually want this conversation to make a meaningful difference in your life, how will you capture whatever awareness you've had in a way that you can use it a year from now and that will make a long-term difference in your life? What do you see?
Honestly, this might be silly, but I may rewatch it.
Oh,
I
cool.
love that.
To remind myself of like the tactics.
Yeah.
And the advisement. And then just like the dream that I said that I have, and like, okay, cool. And like, let's keep working towards that. And you're not going to get there if you keep, feeling like you're not worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
How about some reminders that you're magic and kindness and leader?
Yeah, I could do that.
What will
Send
you
myself some Post-its.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it seems silly, but we need visual. We just need stuff to remind us. It's just interrupting the old patterns.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so people might think it's silly, but just anything that will have you go, oh yeah, that's not where I'm going anymore. Right?
Yeah.
Any kind of reminder that you can put up.
Mm-hmm.
And what'll happen with visual reminders is they'll be effective for a while, and then they start to become part of our like visual background. So you might need to just
Move
mix
them
it up.
around.
Every couple weeks, put something in a new spot, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Just to keep interrupting those thoughts and eventually you do get used to not believing that. Now the voice might still be there,
Yeah.
but you always get to choose whether you believe it or not.
Mm.
You know? Cool. What was most valuable for you overall from our conversation?
I think identifying a goal, and not just like one, but like like pinpointing 6.
Yeah.
Like together.
Yeah.
Can I suggest something to follow up on that?
Sure.
How about creating maybe like a journal entry, maybe or what you started to mention things about the theater,
Like
has
the
a
pool
pool table.
table and
like
yeah.
Will you flesh that out more? Actually like create the vision of what it would be like, what the experience is like for people being there, what a day in the life is like for you in this work that you love doing,
Sure.
what the theater's like. Just let yourself dream
Yeah.
and really fill it out.
Yeah. And
You
it could
open to
be
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
could be a journal entry, could be an actual vision board, like whatever excites you, I think.
Yeah, what do you think would be good for you?
Yeah, maybe a vision board or a drawing or something, or like something like that.
Cool. And you mentioned the like creative part of you. Let it run.
Okay.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All
Sweet.
the dreams, all the details. Yeah. And that's so fun too.
What are you going to create a real clear vision of?
I think I'm going to create a real clear vision of what my workshops look like and the experience that the participants have with the content, what the experience they have with each other, what they walk away from it feeling. So mine will probably be more of a journal entry of the details of the experience that I want to create for people.
That's awesome. I think for me, I have this fleshed out a little bit, but I'm going to return to it. I'm going to expand the vision of my future family.
I love that. That's awesome.
What our life is like together, what our home is like. Okay, cool. We got to practice. What about you guys? What are you going to expand your vision of and allow yourself to dream? And then once we have a really clear vision, it's just aligning day by day. How do I align with that vision? What choices will I make that will keep me moving towards that possibility? And then we create it.
Yep.
Awesome.
That's great.
Acknowledgement. Thanks for bringing your heart and vulnerability and wisdom and humor and light to the conversation.
Thank you guys.
Yeah. Thank you for showing up and being exactly who you are, which is fabulous, and hanging in there. I think it was a really meaningful conversation, not just, I hope, for you, but for us, and I'm sure for our listeners as well, because we all struggle. We all have struggles that we're working through. So I think it really resonates with people.
Kat, of your amazing life of wisdom and experience and all that you've been up to, what would you share with someone that you think would be helpful for them in their life? What's something you've learned that you'd really want to share?
Oh my God.
How about from improv world?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, well, from the improv world, my favorite skill that I've learned is that ability to pivot and adapt. And when something throws you, just figure out a way to and you have the ability to change and flow with it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, everybody. That is another episode of Cultivating Courage. Thank you for tuning in. If people are looking to connect with you, Kat, where can they find you? And if you don't want them to find you, they don't. You don't.
Yeah, you can find me.
Yeah, come see your shows.
Kat McDonnell, but the E is a 3 on Instagram.
We'll put it in the episode notes. Matt, where can people connect with you?
On Instagram, Matty Maxwell, Matty, or my website's close to launching. This is hearthstone.com.
Awesome. You can find all the episodes and connect with both Matt and I also at cultivatingcouragepodcast.com. You can find me at thrivecoachingstudio.com, and you can follow me on Instagram at Robinson Kristen, Kristin. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.